Oh boy, Minecraft Legends, a game that released in April 2023. We need to talk about the gameplay. The TLDR is, it's not good. Or let's say not good enough. It feels like it's not fully fleshed out or just needed way more polish. Or maybe even more game testing from a variety of people. I'm jumping a little bit ahead here, but I got the game through Xbox Game Pass, so I technically didn't buy it, I guess, right? And I'm actually glad I didn't, because it is 40 euros or 40 bucks. That is a lot of money, especially if you think about all the indie games you could get that are either better, give you more fun, more gameplay, or are just plain better. So let's talk about the good stuff first. The tutorial. You know, I feel like the tutorial was actually pretty solid. It was also a nice introduction to, like, the world and, like, the story. I know I'm not the story guy and I really want to focus on gameplay, but I kind of wanted to mention it because it was kind of cool seeing, I guess, the gods of Minecraft of some sort. Either way, they show you the ropes, you know, how to gather materials, then, you know, craft the spawners, summon creatures, and how to control them. So all that was good and got me into the game fairly easily. And that is kind of it, to be honest. Because everything else from here on out goes really quickly downhill. It's kind of like a snowball effect, right? Where it starts small right after the tutorial, and boy, does this thing get big. 8 hours afterwards. Or technically, I played the game for 7 hours and 50 minutes. It also felt like 50 hours, because, my god, some things just make no sense and are... I feel like it's kind of there to lengthen the whole experience, to make it worse for you as the player. It's kind of like having an amazing manga that you have the opportunity to make an anime out of, and you fuck up the pacing. You had one job. I'm spicy at 11 p.m. Maybe I need to do this more often. God damn. Going back to this whole thing. The bad stuff, you know, the not so good stuff. Let us say that. You know, it's always like kind of cool, but then it's like, you know, it's like, oh my god, that's like a 9 or 10 idea. And then it just gets brought back down to like a 4 or 5 or maybe a 6. And that's what I mean with it's not fully fleshed out, or they should have polished it more, right? Where it's like, guys, I could have given you, let me play this game for like 8 hours as a game tester, and I would have given you a monstrous list of things to improve upon. The open world, you know, it's a giant island, it's fun to explore, and you also quickly realize, and with quickly I mean literally a few minutes in, how empty it is. Oh my god, why are we keep doing this in video games? You make this massive, procedurally generated world and make it empty. How? Why am I turning? I'm jumping around here a lot, but after the tutorial, you know, as mentioned, you explore the open world. You see all the things and realize there isn't much to see. And the game really holds your hands because you have quest after quest after quest. You know, it tells you go here, go here, go here, go here. A lot of cutscenes that I, at the beginning, actually watched until I slowly get fed up with something, but we're gonna get there in a bit, you know, just wait a few seconds. Now, you go to a town, you save it, or if the town is already saved, you know, or the villages, whatever it's called, I think it's villages, there are villages, you know, like, as in Minecraft, right? And you get a ton of materials from them. So, gathering materials manually, like they told you to do, or, well, explained you how to do it, is kind of pointless, for the most part, at least. I think you get wood, stone, coal, I think even diamonds sometimes. So it's like you get most of the things you really need to kind of beat the game already from those chests. That is kind of nice and might make speedrunning, you know, faster and easier. But then you have the issue of, oh wait, there is a limit on how many items I can have. You need to upgrade your slots so you can hold more items. Alright, you know, this is a video game, I kind of get it. But you also get way more stuff from the chests than you can manage, ever. Like, late in the video, you might see endgame gameplay, and I think I had like 1,000 wood and 1,000 stone, and I still kept out constantly. Back to the upgrades that I mentioned, there are a bunch of upgrades, And I like the way of, placing the towers near the well, which is kind of like your big hub area. But I never really had Prismarine at the beginning until I had way too much and didn't know what to do with them anymore. It feels weirdly balanced. On top of that, there were also no upgrades like, running faster, because that would make a lot more sense, because you're already a god in this game. So why not just let me upgrade and run faster, have more health? Oh wait, health doesn't matter because you already start with like 10 hearts or 15, I don't even know anymore. And they regenerate real fast, or semi-fast. Wait, that would have been another upgrade you could have spent money in, right? Heal faster. I also feel like there could have been upgrades or like abilities. For example, you push the enemies away, like a little AoE push ability, like wind, or maybe you can strike lightning, because you're anyways a god. And if they're like, okay, we don't want to do that because we want to focus on the minion-based stuff, right? The minion kind of gameplay, so necromancer, you can kind of imagine, like in Diablo 4, which is very popular right now, or Path of Exile. The problem with that is, if your AI sucks, I'm not artificial intelligence like ChatGPT, I'm talking about the AI, the intelligence of the minion knowing where to move. If that sucks in your game, and this is your core game, we got an issue. We have an issue. I can't say it more obviously. It sucks. It's really bad. It's like you have to handhold them, and it's so annoying. I hate having to handhold my minions. At this point, there aren't minions. It's like a bad workout that I have to constantly point to a new thing. Oh wait, that's literally what I have to do. You literally have to press Q to have this AoE ability, so you kind of control them for this moment, and then tell them, go over there, right? Or go over here, or go over back there, or attack this couch. And then they will attack this couch. They will do this quite well until they're done attacking that couch, and then they just stand there. And I'm like, really? You couldn't have had some sort of like 2-second cooldown and then let them figure it out, or attack everything that was that thing? If they attack one couch, maybe they want to attack the 4 couches that are next to each other. Or towers, for example, or enemies. Anything. No, they just stand there. I think I had so many moments, and maybe I show some of them on screen, where I had a lot of these enemies attack me while I was spawning the enemies, because I was in a hurry and I was like, oh god, I gotta get some minions going, right? Because the other ones died. And they just stand there on the spawner, by the way, also blocking you. By the way, they block you, which is also why. Like, at some point later on in the game, you might have 40, 60 minions controlling, and you kind of like constantly block each other, right? It's so annoying. It's like, why? You couldn't have thought of a better idea. I'm a god. Just let me phase through them. Just underscore no clip. I don't know, I didn't play Counter-Strike. But come on, like, bro. And you have a cool blue effect on me, or on my horse, in some of these cutscenes. Man, that effect would be sick. In the game, not in a cutscene. All right, I'm not trying to be harsh here, but I'm actually like trying to. Why not? Like, why? It's bad the way it is. It needs to be polished. It needs to be flushed out more. I see it. 2 hours in. Come on, guys. You've probably worked on this for years. At least months. I hope at least. I hope you had more than a few months to make this game. Either way, moving on past that, another issue that made me actually want to lower the difficulty, I think in the second or third recording, so many hours in, I was like, I'm fed up. I am done with these uber buildings that take hours to destroy. It's not literal hours, but my god, it's wasting my time. If you don't believe me and you're like, man, Daniel, you're just a papega, dude. Here's a clip of me destroying the main building, like the portal where the enemies come out of. So this is kind of what you have to destroy every single time. I think 12, 15 times in a game or something. And my god, it was so slow. I literally stood up and made lunch that day. I didn't give a fuck. I'm sorry to say that. It is awful. If I can stand up in the middle of destroying the base, the enemy base in your video game that that the main core is destroying the main base. You need to do something. I'm sorry. You need to. I'm guessing they did that because either there's weird balancing going on because you can be in a party and maybe it doesn't scale properly. You know, like if you have 2 friends, enemies are twice as, you know, have twice as much health and buildings the same way. I don't know how the balancing is, but if I play alone and it's this bad and it takes me this long to destroy buildings in the normal difficulty, in the base difficulty that you, by the way, always have set up for me, something's wrong. And by the way, what I mean with this is if you log out of the game and go back in, it actually resets your difficulty to the normal one. So every time you go in, you have to set it to easy. Why? That was the moment where I realized, okay, something's off. Something just feels, something's not good. And actually it's super easy then defeating the buildings, which it should be. If 20 or 40 or later 60 guys whack at a building, and by the way, you cannot make your minions stronger, which is also like another upgrade idea. It should be destroyed quickly. But on the normal difficulty, it was boring as heck. 2 smaller things, actually 1 small thing and 1 slightly bigger. 1 small thing was you can't skip time, which is a little bit annoying. I would like to skip time in some form at least, you know. You know, I like Horizon Zero Dawn is one of the best open world games in my opinion. I love the game. You also can't skip time in there. But you can kind of skip time if you teleport back and forth from locations. That kind of skips time. So it's a little bit ass, I get it. But in this game you can't at all. Like, if you know the piglins are going to attack a village and you want to get this quest that the game forces you to do, I just want to get it done. You know, I just want to focus on the main thing, which is, you know, destroying the portals of the enemies and kind of, you know, progress in my video game. You know, I would like to progress. I would see the map kind of get cleaned from the enemies, you know, and kind of slowly take over, you know, lost villages or just destroy these big-ass portals, you know, that spread the Nether everywhere. Oh my god, the Nether, I just realized something. The Nether. So, you probably realized that I don't have to explain the gameplay bit by bit. You're a video gamer, I assume at least. So if you look at the gameplay, right, you know kind of how the games probably works. I'm not going to explain it to you. Okay, I'm going to explain it really quickly for you because, love you. So, you spawn in the game, which is very likely a village. Then you check the quest to get the loot from there. Then you go out and look at the map and usually find a portal or want to find a portal or something. You know, where are enemies, go to the enemies with your minions. If you don't have minions or creatures or whatever it's called, you spawn them and then you go there, or you spawn them right before that. Cool. Now, when you get there, you see the Nether everywhere, right? You know, you remember when I told you about that? All the Nether everywhere, which is spreading like... I'm gonna stop right there. Anyways, now you have 2 options. Either you just go straight to the base, which doesn't matter maybe if it's a small one, right? You can just walk in there and destroy the buildings and clean the area. But you don't, because the Netherrack has to be manually cleaned with your little guys, your little fairy kind of things. The blue ones, by the way, the yellow ones are for building, so there's a limit again. Yes, that is an upgrade, you can get more of those, which kind of matters, but you also can't upgrade them in a meaningful way, as in they clean 4 blocks, 8 blocks, 10 blocks, you know, like, just make it bigger, you know, just, there's so many upgrades I could imagine that would make this so good. Anyways, man, it's so spammy, and like I usually spammed, you know, I played with mouse and keyboard, you have to like click like 10 times if you have 10 little guys, and I'm like, you really couldn't have made it so I spawn 8 of them at the same time? Or more, or 2, you know, like 1, 2, 4, 8, 12, I guess, I don't know, right? You could have made that. I'm sure you could have made that I don't place 1 block, I place multiple blocks. I'm 90% sure that could have been possible. Alright, moving past that one, you worked your way through the middle of the portal, you know, the big one, a big proper base. You go there, you work your way through with your minions, you destroy stuff on the way. You can usually ignore the enemies for the most part, to a degree, I guess, because the buildings is what matters most. And I also destroyed the buildings through, you know, as I go to the portal, which I think isn't even necessary. You can pretty much just, I think, go straight to it. Who cares? Good. You go to the portal, you finally destroy it, you get a cutscene of just the story probably progressing, and then all the buildings in that base get destroyed. So you don't have to clean it up afterwards, right? And also the tower, the walls, they just disappear. And I'm like, oh, that's kind of nice. You kind of cleanse the area to a degree, right? You still see the Netherrack, but I guess the massive buildings are gone, so you don't have to destroy those. That's cool. They fucked that up too. When you destroy a building, you get Prismarine. The one currency you actually care about in this game, because it allows you to place more of these towers at your well so you can get more powerful, which at some point also has a limit. But still, at the beginning, you crave every little Prismarine, or at least I did. When you destroy a portal and everything disappears, it drops Prismarine on the ground. You know what happens in Minecraft when something's on the ground for too long? It disappears. The loot on the ground you get for destroying a base disappears after like 20 seconds. And if the base is big, and some of these bases are big as you can probably see right now on screen, you probably lose most of the Prismarine. I have no idea how no game tester, how no developer who worked on this game thought this is a good hacking idea. Why? I'm a god in this video game, or, an apprentice of a god, or whatever the heck I am, in this video game. I'm some dude, the protagonist, Just give me power to suck up all the Prismarine. Come on. Or what would be even funny as an upgrade? You place these little boxes with your little fairies in it. It would be cool if you could place one very big box with all the fairies in it, and then they just clean up all of it. Man, that would be a good idea. You realize how I figured that out after 8 hours? Again, not flushed out, or not properly thought through, or just not polished enough. Those are the main 3 parts that just encompass this game. It's a really cool idea, right? Imagine Minecraft Legends with a really dense open world where you can upgrade a ton of things, from speed to double jump to triple jump to fly to whatever. Technically there's flying with mounts, but the mounts, there are 3 mounts, don't matter, just get the tiger and you run fast. To super powerful fairies, to bulk clean Netherrack, to upgrade the villages so they have better defenses. But Daniel, you can build walls. Right, because I'm gonna spend time building walls. Brother, this game is poop easy, even on normal difficulty. That's actually the biggest problem. The game is easy on normal difficulty. The only thing they did is just raise the health of everything. It's the classic issue. Wait, how do we make our game more difficult? Right, let's just raise the numbers. No. Technically, I think also the difficulty reduces the amount of things you can gather in the world. I guess it's procedurally generated every time you load in or whatever, and it's less, but who cares, right? At the end of the day, I have to sit there at a portal and do this and wait until it's destroyed. It's awful. I remember when I said about probably 5 minutes ago, a small thing? Anyways, that was the small thing. Now to the slightly bigger thing, the small AoE of the Q ability, right? You can spawn 60 minions, and you can see them later on in the footage, how they're all gathered up around me. And I'm just like, guys, you couldn't have given me a bigger Q if I hold Q, I could charge up. Oh, no, never mind. You know what holding Q is? For your minions not to follow you. When do I want my minions not to follow me? This game is about minions. It's literally It's literally Minecraft Necromancer. That's what it is. This would have probably been the 2 major changes. Let me charge up my Q so it has bigger AoE the longer I charge it up, but I have to stand still, which is fine. And then do everything else that I said earlier. Alright, cool. 40 euros. This game is 40 euros. At least I made my lunch while it played itself. Alright, I was really harsh to this game. I did enjoy the visuals. The story was kind of nice. The ending was also kind of nice. And the cutscenes aren't perfect and stuff. And, it's very 12 plus, you know, it's for children, obviously, and I'm not a child. But my God, you have to be... Bro, I think if you're 12, you probably crave more than this. I think as a 12-year-old, now in internet age, you'll realize something's off. Something is just not right in this game. Or they just get bored. They probably get bored because it's boring. Standing there, destroying the portal. I'm still mad about that. Alright, it's 11:30 p.m. I have ranted enough. Thanks for listening to me rant. Don't buy this game. Seriously don't. It has mixed reviews on Steam. For good reasons. Alright, that's it from me. Have a great rest of your day, weekend, and stay hydrated, gamers. Bye-bye.